Juicy, 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 juicy. Another intro juice from me. If you haven't got a clue why the hell I shout intro juice, it's whenever we kind of say, it's not introduce, as in let's introduce you to this person. It's intro and then juice, like a glass of orange juice. And it's just so filthy for the first few seconds. This is filthy, 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 filthy. But we are back to important topics with this one. So do we want to talk production, instrumental and stuff and go positive first and then go deeper and darker?
Let's do that. Yeah, we can do that. Okay.
Instrumentally brilliant, lyrically gripping, slightly disturbing and so relevant all at once.
Yes. Okay, let's get into the themes. You've covered that. I can't disagree at all. This song is deep and heavy. And I'll be honest, this was never my clique at school, but I had friends who were in this clique. Like, I had best friends who were in this kind of like heavy new metal or actual metal scene, and they would sing this and they'd kind of hum this in class, or they'd like just be together and they'd be singing it. And I just kind of always laughed because that was never my scene. They were giving it so much energy, and I never really gave the song much thought, so I never dissected it at all or listened to what the lyrics were or the themes or anything. It didn't help that they would all sing as well, like, cut my life into pizzas, this is my plastic fork.
Oh no,
that kind of brings the message down. That brings the message down. Now listening today of what it means, of what Last Resort means, of all of it, I get it now. I get it. I want to hold my hands with all the friends that I laughed at for liking this back in the day and just say, I get it now, I'm sorry.
I kind of feel guilty for having really gone for it in clubs to this. So in Armani's, which is part of that Kelly's complex that I've mentioned before, there was on a Wednesday night, it was student night, so you had 3 nightclubs that were open. There were some centralised walkways where you can kind of gather and things, but Armani's was very much kind of the rock and metal room, and we hung in there a lot, especially if what was going off in the dancer rooms were just a bit too pill-heady. Didn't want to be in that. I was happier being over in the rock section. But yeah, I air guitar to this, I mosh to this, I proper head smash to this, loved it, and never really twigged what it was about. And I could probably only sing half the chorus each time and the opener. It was such a big deal for people. But this was a song inspired by the attempted suicide of the lead singer's roommate, who they did help and saved. And now he's just gone down a completely different path, which has made him so much better. And he's just generally in a really good place. But difficult lyrics when you go through and listen to them, because it is very, very dark. And I think actually a really important song that managed to get radio play and onto music channels, which would have been a bitch to edit. And working in radio, I've been there before, and sometimes whenever people send me through stuff, I'm like, is it an important message? Your message isn't important. Your swears are just basic. Piss off. Give me a better version of your track. Whereas this one, I would have been dying to play this song had I sat down as a music programmer and listened to it and experienced it the way they wanted you to. I'd have been dying to get this on the radio, and I'd been doing everything in my power to get this to be cleaned so that it could be played and give people that have poor mental health or feel like they're completely outside of a system their platform, really. But this for me is just a massive, massive, vital, important song to so many people.
It's interesting. I was reading about Chester Barrington, Linkin Park frontman, who passed away a couple of years ago, and Jacob E. Shaddix had been saying in an interview that the pair of them had spoken, much like Bono and Michael Hutchence, funnily enough, that they'd spoken about having the same demons, a lot of the same issues. He spoke about the loneliness, the isolation, the trust issues that you can have as a touring musician, and clearly it's a thing that affects a lot of men, affects a lot of people generally, and this song is disappointingly, timely. It's disappointingly still relevant now.
It really is. Yeah, and that is quite sad. And I think what's really important about this track actually is, beyond the lyrics, the music video. They made a really wise decision with the music video. So the song had got some uptake before they'd recorded the music video, so they were in a good place fans-wise. So this is the first track off their second album, but the first album was in 1987, and it was very much an intrinsic thing. So this is really, in theory, to most people, this was the debut single on the debut album, but it is off album number 2 called Infest. But the music video, they managed to gather 500 fans. It's very much like a fishbowl looking music video where there's a camera above them on a square stage. They're surrounded by these 500 real fans that have come. And as they're kind of performing on their stage, it does zoom in on individual fans. And what happens is, as the camera zooms in on these fans, it takes you to their bedroom. And they're all very stilled-faced. But what it's there to emphasise is actually how you just really can't tell how someone's feeling. Or if somebody looks like they're happy, they mightn't actually be. And I know that we, in this day and age, especially, people that are parents, are terrified that they don't have a clue what's going on with their child because, when they walk into the house, they might be happier to be in the house, but you don't know what's going on with them separately, no matter how much you talk to them or how close you are with them. But I think the video for this one was really important, and it was really good for other people to see, you know, especially to be like, actually, that girl there who's just pretty still-faced, who could be happy, one of my best friends looks like that all of the time. Maybe a conversation needs to happen. Maybe I can just check in and see how they're doing. But this for me is a much bigger deal. And this is the one that I've said earlier on, we've discussed U2. This is a very normal track. Like, I feel like this is relatable to all young people in many respects. They know somebody who this song is about. And whereas U2 is great and interesting and all of that kind of crap, but it's very much looking in the celebrity world that is maybe a tiny bit unrelatable. Whereas this one really sits as a massive, massive important song for mental health.
In terms of the enormity of it, they say that they didn't think it was going to be a hit. It sold over 600,000 copies in the UK alone and went platinum. So there you
amazing.
Go. Big number 3 from Papa Roach.
Big number 3. And it does say, I wish somebody would tell me that I'm all right.
Yeah.
You're all right. If you're in a bad place, you're all right. Do what you can. There's help and support and stuff out for people. Do your thing. We'll post some stuff on socials as well if anybody needs support. But yeah, you're all right. Things can get better. Yeah.